Shri Gurubhyo Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaveetyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today being full moon, let us do a short chanting for the goddess. The 10 names of the goddess we will repeat 5 times. It is said in Lalita Sahasranamam, it says Pancha Sankhyopacharini. So the goddess likes to be worshipped in multiples of 5, 5 offerings, 5 namaskaras, 5 rounds of chanting, like that. There are the 10 names of goddess, which comes in one of the verses of Lalita Sahasranama later. We will chant it. I will chant 3 names. You can repeat after me. I will give a small gap and then I'll go to the next one. Right? Aim Hreem Shreem Shrimatre Namaha Ganga Bhavani Gayatri Kali Lakshmi Saraswati Raja Rajeshwari Bala Shamala Lalita Ganga Bhavani Gayatri Kali Lakshmi Saraswati Raja Rajeshwari Bala Shamala Lalita Ganga Bhavani Gayatri Kali Lakshmi Saraswati Raja Rajeshwari Bala Shamala Lalita Ganga Bhavani Gayatri Kali Lakshmi Saraswati Raja Rajeshwari Bala Shamala Lalita Ganga Bhavani Gayatri Kali Lakshmi Saraswati Raja Rajeshwari Bala Shamala Lalita. Aim Hreem Shreem Shri Matre Namaha. Now we start with our discussion on Upadesa Undiyar. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Om Tat Sat. We saw the verse number 22 in Upadesha Undiyar. The Tamil version is Udal, Pori, Ullam, Uir, Irul, Ellam, Jadam, Asat, Anadal, Undipara, Sattana, Nanalla, Undipara. Right? So they go like this, like a song. Udal பொறியுள்ளம் இருள் எல்லாம் ஜடம் அசத்தானதாலுந்தி பர சத்தான நானல்ல உந்தி பர. They sing like that. Okay. So the Sanskrit version is Vigraha Indriya Prana Dhi Tamaha Naham Ekasat Tad Jadam Hi Asat. The gross body, the mind, the pranamaya, the vijnanamaya, and the darkness, the power of ignorance, which is called as anandamaya. All these three do not have their own existence. They have a dependent existence. Asat also, they are only a construct. They do not have an independent existence. They depend upon me, the I am, the self, for their existence. When the I consciousness is not active, none of these will be active. And the sense of self is self existent. You can never imagine the absence of yourself, what we saw in the previous shloka. Namadinmai nikattal undi para, in that we saw. So we discussed all this in the last class. How the self is the sat, means that oh, sorry, that which does not change, that which does not disappear at any time. It exists in the waking state, it exists in the dream state, it exists in the deep sleep state, and it is not dependent on any of these three states for its own existence. Any modality of existence is dependent on me, the I am. But the I am is not dependent on anything else. So the I am is referred to here as Sat, that which is the existence itself. Right? Now, what about consciousness? So, how am I aware of myself? By what cognitive tool, by what instrument of cognition I am experiencing myself, you might ask. To see something in front of me, I need my eyes. To hear something, I need my hearing faculty. To think, I need the mind, the intellect, etc. Right? But to know you are here, you exist, do you need anything? You are self evident to yourself. Now you are the Sat and you are aware of yourself. Now there is no conscious principle apart from me, I, the ultimate ground of existence. Apart from me, there is no conscious principle using which I become aware of myself. Then the question will come, what is that conscious principle based on? Right? So the next verse he says, Ulladu unara, in order to experience or feel or become conscious of what is, உள்ளது உணர உணர்வு வேறு இன்மையின். There is no conscious principle, the principle of consciousness There is no other principle of consciousness. To become conscious of what is, there is no separate principle of consciousness. So, உள்ளது உணர்வாகும் உந்தீபர. That which is the consciousness. உணர்வே நாமாய் உளம் உந்தீபர. It is the pure consciousness, the power of consciousness, that is our self. We are Nam here in Tamil means we. Okay. You may ask, then there is multiplicity, there is no Advaita. No, it is a way of saying, it is a respectful way of addressing. It is that is one way of looking at it. And another way is because this is a dialogue, it is a teaching. We are the consciousness has to be translated in each one of our minds, in our understanding, individually as I am the consciousness. Okay. So I am ultimate, I exist as this conscious principle. My true nature is this conscious principle. I am that ultimate consciousness, which is the ultimate ground of existence also. I am that self-existing conscious principle, which is the ultimate. உணர்வே நாமாயுளம் உந்தீபர. உள்ளது உணர்வு வேறின்மையின் உள்ளது உணர்வாகும் உந்தீபர. உணர்வே நாமாயுளம் உந்தீபர. It is this ultimate conscious principle which is the self-existent reality. It is that which shines as this I amness. It is that which is expressing as the I amness. We can probably say like that. When I say I am, nan, I am, aham, when I say me, I am, no, myself, that self-consciousness that comes up. So why do I have to even say I am? Actually, I don't even have to say I am. But as an exercise of contemplation, I am saying, because the attention is completely scattered with so many thoughts and objects of the mind, objects of the senses, right? Internal objects, external objects. Because of this, to bring the attention of the buddhi, to bring that attention, the power of attention back to oneself, saying I am helps. It gives you a fulcrum. Because every time you utter a word, your buddhi or the thinking faculty dwells upon the meaning of the word. Our usual example, gulab jamun. The moment you say gulab jamun, or if you're a foreigner, I will say a chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream, right? Western universalism. So everybody understands chocolate ice cream. Not everybody understands gulab jamun. So chocolate ice cream, chocolate. The moment you say ice cream, chocolate, immediately the associated meaning of that which is related to some memory and experience comes up. When I say a pot, the meaning of the pot comes up. So when I say I am, when you say I am, immediately the meaning of that, your own self-existence, right? So the attention falls back upon your own self-existence. In that experience, if you can just stay absolutely still in that revel in that self-conscious feeling of your own existence, where you are self-evident to yourself, to the exclusion of everything else. You can see that how this consciousness, this awareness of yourself is qualitatively completely different from you becoming aware of anything else other than you. There is no body idea in this, there is no mind, there is no thought, there is no identity, there are no roles. You can drop everything that you can think of. Whatever you think of about yourself, whatever you have associated to the sense of I, whatever label you have slapped upon yourself, all these innumerable labels, all the ideas about yourself are not you. So when you drop everything, you there is one thing that you cannot drop, that is your own sense of self-aware existence, self-awareness of your own existence. Now that is the ground of all experience. Now you are the ground of all experience. You are self-evident to your own existence. Your existence is self-evident to yourself. You are the existence, you are the consciousness. You are the conscious principle self-existing in you. Just have to appreciate this fact. When you appreciate this fact, it becomes very easy to, as an understanding. It is not an effort. It is not an effort of concentration. It is not like telling concentrate on your Muladhara chakra, concentrate on your Ajna chakra. It's not like that. Concentrate on the heart. This is another, people start focusing on the heart. The self is in the heart. So you are focusing on the heart. It is okay to begin with, to collect the attention back as an initial, but ultimately you reach the heart through this sense of I am. You are the heart. You are not experiencing the self in the heart. You are the heart. It is an understanding. When you understand that your existence is self evident to yourself, you can experience this to the exclusion of any thought or idea, and just allow all your efforts and your ego, your individuality, your interest. Basically, let there be love for this aspect of yourself, for this dimension, or let there be love for this dimensionless you, falling back upon your true sense of self, where your existence is evident to yourself to the exclusion of everything else. When you're completely committed to effortlessness and the letting go is complete, you are aware of your own existence. You cannot resolve that into further components. You are existing as the conscious principle. You are the conscious principle that makes every other experience possible. Just have to appreciate. So that's what you are, the Sat, you are the Chit. You are the existence, you are the conscious principle. In the Yoga Sutra, the last sutra, about Kaivalya, when he talks about Kaivalya, the final sutra says, talks about Swarupa Pratishtha, being established in one's true nature, in one's own Swarupa. Purushartha Shunyanam पुरुषार्थ शून्यानां गुणानां प्रतिप्रसवः कैवल्यम् स्वरूप प्रतिष्ठा वा or चितिशक्तेरिति चितिशक्तेर चितिशक्तेर means the power of consciousness, the conscious principle. It is the final yoga sutra. Hmm? So leaving aside the ontological aspects, the philosophical, the construction, the epistemology and everything of yoga, we will leave that the metaphysics of yoga aside and staying with the Vedantic insight. I'm just using that sutra to point to the fact of conscious principle that is self-existent, which is you. Yeah. So, உள்ளது உணர்வ உணர்வு வேறின்மையின் உள்ளது உணர்வாகும் உந்தி பெற உணர்வே நாமாய் உளம் உந்தி பெற. You are the Sat and the Chit. In the sense, there are not two things. You are the Sat, which is the Chit, or you are the Chit, which is the Sat. It's to be understood like that. In the next shloka, where the Mahavakya comes, is extremely important. The next shloka that tells how completely aligned with Vedanta Shastra is Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi's teaching. It is not some unique technique that is a meditation technique using which you do you attain self-realization and all that. It's not something else. It does involve understanding. It does involve the realizing of the meaning of the Mahavakya. It is part and parcel of the entire process of arriving at self-realization, if I may use the word. So he says, இருக்கும் இயற்கையால் ஈச ஜீவர்கள் ஒரு பொருளே ஆவர் உந்தி பெற உபாதி உணர்வே வேறு உந்தி பெற. In their true nature, God and the individual souls are basically the same. It is the same thing that behaves as Ishvara. It is the same thing that is the true nature of Ishvara and the Jiva. In their true nature, Ishvara and Jiva are the same thing. Only the consciousness based on the functional context is different. Upadhi means a limiting adjunct or a context, a functional context. I am, okay, it's consciousness. I am the father. So fatherhood is the upadhi. I am the son. The sonhood is the upadhi. It is the same person who is the father in one context, and it is the same person who is the son in some other context. We can say the father and son are the same person. Huh? How can the father and son be the same person? When you hear that, your first response, how can the father and son be the same person? No. The father of so and so, that person, it is the same person who is the son of so and so, somebody else, some other so and so. The father of Mr. X is the son of Mr. Y. X and Y are upadhi, different contexts. So the upadhi, the fatherhood of X is upadhi, the sonhood of Y is upadhi. But if I remove the upadhi, it is the same person who is the father and the son, right? So this process of seeing the truth, seeing the true principle by negating the upadhi is called bhaga tyaga lakshana in Vedanta. Okay, so the whole is Mahavakya Vichara is based on the Mahavakya. No, you are that. It says, Chandogya Upanishad Tattvamasi Samaveda. Aham Brahmasmi, there is one Mahavakya. There are a lot of Mahavakyas. So, and these are the four famous ones. Prajnanam Brahma is the Rigveda Mahavakya. Consciousness is Brahman. And then there is the Atharva Veda Mahavakya, very famous. Ayamatma Brahma comes in Mandukya Upanishad. Om Itye Darakshamidaghum Sarvam Tasya Tokyakhyanam Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyam Sarvamityomkara Yeva Yasyattrikalatītam Tadabhyomkara Yeva Sarvam Hetat Brahma Ayamatma Brahma Soyamatma Chatushpad. Like that it goes. Like we have in like that, it comes in a context where it creates the context of explanation. And then in Chandogya Upanishad, the Tattvamasi comes in 9 different ways it is being explained. First, the teacher explains, the student doesn't understand, asks again and again. And so, from various 9 different angles, the Tattvamasi is explained. Right? The same, it comes Aham Brahmasmi in Yajurveda Upanishad. Prajnanam Brahma comes in Rigveda Upanishad. And there are many other ways of arriving at saying this Mahavakya. Wherever the oneness of God and individual is expressed, it is Mahavakya. Okay. Where the concept of duality is dissolved. How duality is dissolved? Now, I'll give a very simple example from our everyday experience. Our everyday experience. All of us can understand this. The fantastic example. The example of the dream. In a dream, now remember a dream. Now you are awake, right? So from the waking state, you think of a dream. Let us say in the dream you are in India in some sadhana camp, yoga camp, taking bath in Ganga, coming there, and then there is a nearby temple, and there is a arati. Some Rudram chanting is going on. Very serene experience. And then after the Rudram chanting, you are standing in line for the prasad. Your favorite prasad is there. When you are about to receive the prasad, you wake up. Huh? What to do? I like some tragedy. So, this is a dream. Now, when you think of the dream, see, all the dream world, where did it come from? After you wake up, I tell you, you realize that you did not lose the prasad. You are the prasad. Right? So there is no sense of loss. So the temple is you, the river is you, the yoga camp, all the details there. Where did all this come from? The hard floor where you are sitting, the beautiful sculptures in the temple, the music, the chanting that was going on. All this, where did it come from? It all came from your own mind, right? So it is the power of consciousness, which is you, combined with the information stored in the brain, that appears as the dream world. One area of the dream is, there is a lot of lights in the temple where you are sitting. Outside the temple is dark. So there is one place is light, one place is dark. It is the same light of your own consciousness that appears as dark, and it also appears as light. So the entire dream context, all the characters and all the things, plus you, the experiencer of the dream, you, that individual character who is there after a bath in the river, you coming and sitting in the temple listening, you, the listener, and who enjoys and who was waiting for the prasad, you are also part of them. You are also that same consciousness. Now, now that you know this is a dream, you can say all that is only appearance, right? What is the real you? The real you is neither the dream world nor the creator of the dream world. You are neither the dream world nor the individual character who was experiencing the dream world. You are something that is completely independent of the dream world, because after the dream ended, you continue to exist. But within the context of the dream, there appears to be the source of the entire dream world, right? Now I'm taking you back into the dream. In the dream, while dreaming, when you realize it is not the dream yet, while you are experiencing the dream, the entire dream world is there. There are three things here: the dream world, the context of the dream, you, the experiencer of the dream, and the proposed source of the dream, that power from which created this dream world, and you in the dream world, the power that sustains this entire dream world, that source into which the entire dream world disappears back into upon waking up, right? So can we say that source of the dream world, now you are dreaming, and in that source of the dream world you propose as God, right? The God of the dream world, and you, the individual, Ishvara, Jiva. Now it is your own consciousness through one aspect of the mind, the creative aspect of the mind, creates and sustains the dream world and creates this individual character, and it is the same power of consciousness that has entered this little individual, the dream you, the dreamer you in the dream. It is the same power of consciousness that is experiencing the dream world through this structure of the individual dreamer. So the structure of the individual dreamer is upadhi. As the source of the entire dream, the creative, at the source, as the source, at the point of creation of the dream, the creator role of the dream is upadhi. So that which becomes the dream world, as though sustaining the dream world, as the creator and sustainer of the dream, the God of the dream, right? The creator, sustainer of the dream. So from that level, it is the same consciousness that appears as the creator and sustainer of the dream, upadhi. And it is the same consciousness by losing that godliness, apparently functions through the individual character in the dream, experiencing the dream, totally not in control of the dream, but it is the same consciousness that sustains the whole dream world, and it is in complete control of the entire dream world. And as an individual, when operating through that individual character, the dreamer, the structure of the dreamer within the dream, there is no control. Is a complete victim of the dream world. Whatever happens in the dream, he has to respond to that based on that individual structure. So you have to respond to the dream situations based on your conditioning. Whatever is the dream character, how the dream character is conditioned. But in the true nature, the dream character is the same consciousness which is also the creator of the dream. In the true nature, the creator of the dream is basically the same consciousness that is shining in the individual character. So the upadhi, the functional context is different, but the true nature of who is functioning in the context, that ultimate person, the principle, instead of that, I want to use the word person. That ultimate person is the same person who is God and is also the same person who is the individual. Why I am saying the person? Because you feel yourself as a person and you have to realize yourself as that supreme being. So I am using the word person. So you as God in association with Maya Upadhi, they say. You know? Upadhi is different, means for Ishvara is Maya Upadhi, for individual it is Avidya Upadhi. Right? Yet Sarvajnah Sarvavide, it says, Upanishad says, the one who is the ultimate witness of all things, the knower, and also the ultimately capable, the one who knows things in details, is the repository of infinite knowledge, the one who is the knowledge itself and also the repository of infinite knowledge in the details. I discover, uh, the source of all knowledge, God as source of all knowledge. There is a beautiful saying from, I think it is Srinivasa Ramanujan, the great mathematician. He says, an equation, a mathematical equation has no meaning for me unless it expresses a thought of God. It's a very profound statement. When I say, a squared plus, what is that? A plus b whole squared. It's a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. There is an equation, algebra, whatever equation. Now, this is expressing a certain order. This can be expressed in that way. So it's a language. It talks about when you say the area of a circle is pi r squared. The pi is, this is the value. You see the order, in the Fibonacci series, it makes that spiral kind of a thing, right? So you see this mathematical order. There are these uh, secret societies in the West, because the church was suppressing a lot of knowledge. The scientific thinking, rational thinking, intelligent people got together and created secret societies just to remain rational. So in that, they have this concept of sacred geometry. That's why you will see that so-called Illuminati symbol and all that. You will see that compass. It's basically sacred geometry. That compass, the Masons, the Freemasons, they have a symbol. So it's a concept of sacred geometry because they are trying to connect to the divine order. That is the foundational base in which this base of this world, this universe has an appearance. This experience of the universe is based on so many orders of, in existence. There are so many um, uh, knowledge structures that sustain. So what we experience as life is nothing but so many kinds of knowledge in interaction. It is all just knowledge. There is only knowledge here. So whatever I experience is only an idea that comes forth as an experience through the use of the five elements. An idea, the five elements are organized according to an idea, and it is experienced as an object because of my presence. Right? So that's another topic. So Sarvajnah, Sarvavid, the all-knower, and in general as the knowledge itself, and the knower of all the aspects of knowledge in particular detail. He knows every little thing. Now, which means what? He is the source of all knowledge. All the knowledge rests in Ishvara. In Yoga Sutra, there is a sutra talking about the nature of Ishvara. There is one beautiful sutra. Tatra niratishayam sarvagnya bijam. So the omniscience, the limit of omniscience is Ishvara. It is in Ishvara's mind that this whole universe exists, and I and you as individuals exist. This experience of you, the world that you see, the process of experiencing the world, all these three is sustained in the mind of Ishvara, the supreme being. This multiplicity becomes possible because of the Maya, because of the power of consciousness that is you, because of you working through the Maya Upadhi as Ishvara. This experience is sustained where this individuality is experienced by you when you are identified with the individual structure through the power of avidya, under the influence of avidya. You are the God, you are the world, you are this individual experiencing the world and thinking about God, and you are none of this at the same time. Now, this is the vision of Mahavakya. Uh, I have told it in a kind of a simple way, but there is a process of arriving at it for which we need to prepare ourselves in so many levels so that the mind is ready to understand it. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi just very simply he said this and left it. But here what he tries to say in the verse 24 is basically the Mahavakya. He is doing the Bhagatyaga Lakshanam and establishing the intended meaning of the Mahavakya, you are that. In the true nature, what that true principle which is Ishvara is the same principle which is acting as though acting as Jiva. That the same truth that appears as Ishvara and Jiva, irukkum iyarkayal, in the existential nature, God and individual, ஈச ஜீவர்கள் ஒரு பொருளே ஆவர் உந்திப்பர் are the same thing. The feeling generated because of association with the upadhi only is different. Now, we have to understand one important thing here. It is I who I am talking about Ishvara. You know, you will say, oh, so Ishvara feels as Ishvara, like how I am feeling as Jiva. Does God experience something called God consciousness? No, because all this yoga is about a lot of yoga. Kundalini people talk about, especially that this Kriya Yoga people, God consciousness, where the consciousness expanded outside the body and the yogi could experience, what is happening in the street corner, the entire area and everything. It comes in one book. So this kind of confusions will come. So this feeling because of identification with upadhi is there only for the jiva. Ishvara does not have a comparable or a similar experience. I am the one proposing the existence of Ishvarahood. I am the one who is proposing the existence of Ishvara because I am identified with the Jiva, with this Upadhi as Jiva. Because I am thinking of myself as an individual, I am proposing the creator. Because I am thinking of myself as an individual and experiencing this creation, I am proposing the creator. So, from the point of view of the creator, if at all I can use that term, you don't exist, the creation doesn't exist. From the point of view of the creator, he alone exists. There is nothing other than him. It's again a way of saying. So God doesn't know that I am praying to him? Yes and no. According to God, you don't exist, your prayer doesn't exist. Ultimately speaking. No. So this is a very it's a very profound truth that needs to be understood step by step, going from an easy version to a more difficult version that requires more vairagya, that requires more viveka. right? So it's not, I don't want to squeeze the entire Vedanta here just for explanation of this, but just understand one thing. It is I who am proposing the Ishvara consciousness. So, in my understanding, what I call as God is nothing but in whatever I call as God, the divine person is actually the same supreme consciousness, self existent consciousness. When I remove the Godhood, and it is that same supreme consciousness that shines here as I am. I am not this individual, but I am the supreme consciousness, which is the same when I remove the God nature of God. And see, the reality of God is the same supreme consciousness, which is this reality of this individual me. The so called individual me, when I realize myself as not the individual, but that existential self conscious base on which this individual appears, I am the I am that which as an individual I proposed as God. Okay, you can say like that. So the difference between in power, the omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence, all that things that we attribute to God, and such a simple, powerlessness, helplessness, being small, being insignificant when compared to the size of this universe, all this that we attribute to me as an individual, this difference is there only when this consciousness is seen through the upadhi. When there is no upadhi, there is no separateness of jiva or ishvara. There is no difference in the sense I am not two. There are no two selves. There is no one self of Ishvara and self of this individual. The self which I am in my true nature and the same self of so-called Ishvara also. Right? So, தன்னை உபாதி விட்டு ஓர்வதுதான் ஈசன் தன்னை உணர்வதாம் உந்தி பர தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால் உந்தி பர. So, realizing God means to realize my own self minus the upadhi. Because I am self effulgent as myself. I am self effulgent to myself as in the experience of I am. When I say I am, my self existent, self evident awareness of myself shines forth. Right? This me, without any of the conditionings or the ideas about me, this pure absolute me, the conscious self existence truth of myself. When I experience this, I am experiencing God. So, realizing God is realizing one's own true self. It's a very important thing. It is not about doing some upasana and attaining some Vaikuntham, Kailasham, etc. Going to Vaikunta and, becoming one of the attendants of Lord Vishnu. All that is nice, but that is not moksha. Nanya panta vidyate ayanaya. There is no path for liberation but this. What? Realizing the Supreme Self. Alone is the path. There is no other way. As long as there is a second entity, so long fear continues. So long there is samsara. Every Upanishad talks about this. Every Mahapurusha, every great master emphasizes this. But still, We are only used to attaining something with effort in time. So because of that, we invent all kinds of solution that is outside, that is attained in time with effort sometime later for this problem of samsara. But all that is nothing but temporary escape from the so-called suffering, from the so-called limitation. The limitation continues, but you are just watching a happy movie for some time. The same thing like watching a nice movie, very riveting movie, 3.5 hours. If you are watching some Bollywood movie like the recent super hit one, 3.5 hours, Indian movie, 3 hours goes. Suppose it's a very good movie, gone. Just went inside, started watching, 3 hours over. Boring movie, 45 minutes documentary short film, and it is very boring, let us say, not very emotionally riveting, not very exciting. You keep on looking at your watch every 10 minutes. Oh man, such a long movie, right? So when they force you to watch documentaries in your school days, you are like looking, oh my God, when will this get over? But if you like the movie, what happened? 3 hours gone. So your 100 years of pointless, dumb human life looks so difficult, and a million years in Swargaloka may just go within a twinkling of an eye because you're just enjoying the pleasures and everything is there. It's all high sattva, high pleasure predominant, almost only happy experiences, almost zero painful experiences is what all the heavens are about, right? But when you are so engrossed, what happens? An entire kalpa goes in a twinkling of an eye. Your punya prepaid card is over, and you are back to earth taking a human birth. Shine punya martye lokam visanti. So all these attaining different heavens by various ritualistic practices, religious practices, faith systems, upasanas, yogic techniques, all the kundalini and all that, it all sounds good on paper, but once you go there, if you go somewhere, you have to come back. That is why one of the qualifications for studying Vedanta iha amutrartha pala bhoga viragaha. Here, the various attainments here and hereafter, drishta anushravika, things that you see and know, and also the things that you heard about, which you don't know, but you have heard about, things that have been marketed to you, various spiritual attainments that have been marketed to you. All that has to be understood as anitya, ashuka. When you understand that, that in that understanding comes the real vairagya, where you are not looking for something other than you, you seek to know your true self. So, தன்னை உபாதிவிட்டு ஓடுவதுதான். To attain your own self, devoid of all the upadis, your true self, that is attaining God. ஈசன் தன்னை உணர்வதாம் உந்தீபர, தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால் உந்தீபர. Because of self, because of the self-effulgent as I am, because of the I am being self-effulgent. It's a pointer. It's a pointer. Self-effulgent I am is a pointer to that. Even that I am thought will not be there. The real you is even beyond that I am. The I am thought is there because of the reflection of consciousness in the buddhi, chidabhasa. Because of that, that I am as an experience is there. But the real you is cannot be expressed in words. You know you are. It's not. There is not even the I am thought. Right. So, தானாய் ஒளிர்வதால் உந்தீபர. So the next, introducing the next shloka, I will finish the class. தானாய் இருத்தலே தன்னை அறிதலாம். To be oneself is to know oneself. தான் இரண்டற்றதால் உந்தீபர. It's basically the corollary to what we saw before. தன்மய நிஷ்டை இது உந்தீபர. Because of the self not being two like me and being aware of me, there are no two things here. Because of that, being oneself is knowing oneself. In the sense, it is not a knowledge that is using the cognitive faculty and knowing an object. It is not a knowledge like that. It is a qualitatively different kind of knowledge, because you are the conscious principle. There are no two things in you. There is no knower and the known. Tanmaya nishta idu undipara. This is the being established in that thatness. Tanmaya also means Brahma, Brahmanishta. The this is the being, this is what is being established in that supreme truth means. He says that. Then we have 27, 28. We will see this shloka, what we saw now, finally, and then the following shlokas in the coming classes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tatsat. Thank you. There are four uh, uh, there is a question here. I am copying it and storing it for dealing with in the next class. I would like to bring this question here. The question is, how should we understand the common expression that many people have, saying that God was created by humans for better living in society? They also say that God is within oneself and that rituals are a waste of resources. They believe that this time, energy, and these resources could instead be used to help the poor. Why should you help the poor? Eh? Poor can't help themselves. Okay. So we will deal with this in detail. It's a very good question. We will deal with this in the next class. And then we will finish Upadesha on the hour. Okay. Om.